when people hear the words "winning hearts and minds," generally speaking, I think it's regarded as like a disingenuous slogan or a political narrative. But I think it's important, very important, to understand that it also represented genuinely the military strategy in Iraq. This was a counterinsurgency from the point of view of the military. And an insurgency is essentially a popularity contest. You have two sides that are both making claims to legitimacy to power, and they want the population to believe them, to take their side, hence winning hearts and minds. So we really did need to do that, and that was a really a big part of why I accepted orders and why I was eager to participate in Iraq specifically. Now, I went to 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marines, which was in Camp Lejeune. Now, General James Mattis was the division commander of the battalion of the division that I deployed with. He was he was a West Coast division, but they were short one battalion, and so our battalion got pulled into theirs. So the reason I mention it is because General Mattis flew out specifically to talk to our battalion about his vision of Iraq, what he thought the problems were and how he figured we'd solve them. And his speech was important to me because it really reinforced and validated my sense that, okay, we're going to go over there and do good things. We're going to go there to help people. And so the general shows up, and first he gives his assessment of the situation. He says, look, here's why we have a growing insurgency in Iraq, okay? The army is using too much excessive force. They're shooting too many people. They're kicking down too many doors, and so forth. So he was blaming it on the army. And this went beyond, like inter-service rivalry. He really felt as though they didn't understand the nature of the situation. And he said, we're going to go over there and we're going to do it right. We're going to show the Iraqi people that we really do want to help them. We really are on their side. We really are going to build their society back up and then leave. We don't want to, rule them. That was the message that he was delivering. And, of course, there are many people who have said to me, naturally he would say that. But the question is, was he being genuine? And I actually believe that he was. I believed it then, and I still believe it now. I think that there were some miscalculations involved. But in terms of his belief in what he was saying, I think that he was being very genuine. And the reason that I think so, beyond my knowledge of his, of his person, of his character, the reason I think so is that when we deployed, he specifically ordered us to deploy in the green camouflage, not the brown desert camouflage, because he wanted us to be visually distinguished from soldiers, from the personnel in the army, because he believed that we truly were going to do it right, do it better, do it differently. He wanted the Iraqi people to see the Marines and know, oh, those are the people who do it right. Those are the people who actually care about us. Now, if he wasn't being genuine about this winning hearts and minds business, then there'd be no reason for us to deploy in green camouflage. I would think, in fact, there'd be more incentive to wear the desert camouflage and blend in like everyone else. What was interesting, General Mattis was a figure in the news because he had led a division during the invasion, and he had gained some notoriety for a number of reasons. So he was known. And this is the same man, by the way, who eventually went on to become the Secretary of Defense under Trump, and then resigned. And So this was a person who I think who did believe what he was saying, and he was vocal about his criticism of the army. It wasn't just like an inside thing. He was vocal publicly about his criticism of the army. And what was interesting is that there was like an opinion piece in the New York Times, and it was written by an officer in the army. I think it was a colonel or something like that. And he said in this opinion article, the Marine Corps can say what they want about how heavy-handed the Army has been in Iraq. But when they come back, and when these insurgents start shooting at them, they're going to do just what we do. They're going to shoot back. And the interesting thing was that he was exactly right.